This is Eric, host of the Change Talk podcast, coming to you live from CSP Corcoran. And today I'm sitting down with Terry Stephenson and just talking about a little bit of life in prison. He's going to share a story with you. How you doing today, Terry?
I'm doing good.
It's good you took the time to sit down, man. I appreciate you sitting down and talking with us here on Change Talk, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, brother. I appreciate it as well, to get my story out there, my testimony, and help those out who are struggling or stuck in a place you can't get out, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, that's good, man. I also see, you do a lot of artwork around here too, man. You're a good artist, man. And, it's good to see a lot of the work that you do around here as well, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so, I wanted to talk to you, tell me a little bit about, the day of January 24, 2008, brother.
So, back in 2013, January, I was separated from my wife and my kids over some divorce issues. So, it all started with me going to prison.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
In 2007, I was in prison, and I paroled 2011. And when I got out, there were some things that happened up in prison that I wasn't aware of, and I got confronted about some gang activities that I was doing, and therefore that's what led up people wanting to come after me, right?
Potentially take your life, right?
Right. They wanted to take my life. They were trying to have me, extort me, basically, right? And I wasn't having it, but I took it lightly because if they wanted to do something, they would have done it the day they seen me, right? So anyhow, they warned me, right? They gave me a fair warning: if we see you, then we'll get you, right? Anyhow, I started doing good. I moved up out of Santa Paula, and like I said, I had some infidelity, so my wife ended up going with my mom to Santa Paula, and the way it happened was I would go visit my kids on the weekend, right? And I'll have to go into the town. My mom actually lived in the city where, the gang was at, so there's a lot of gang activity, that was the hub, basically, you could call it.
Right.
So I go Sunday morning. I remember this. It's all started. I roll up Sunday morning to her house. They just went to church, right? And my mom was going to make the maneuver, right? And she told me, do me a favor, go to the store and go get me some of these, supplies that I need. And I said, sure. She goes, take your kids with you, right? So I take my kids with me. And me and my wife were not talking at the time, but she ended up coming, right, with me. And I say this because this is what led up to everything, transparency happening. So we get to the store, and it's packed. There's a lot of people, and we're standing in line, and I ended up catching eyes with an individual, right, a youngster. And he looked like he seen a ghost. Like, wow. He spotted me. Right. I felt tension, and I went with my instinct, and I said, let's get out of here, right? I didn't react all, stupid. So when I told my wife, hey, we got to go, we'll come back or we'll go somewhere else, we were kind of arguing. So she was a little stubborn, and she ended up waiting, and there was one line that was open at that time out of all the cash registers. So we had to wait a minute. And this gave time for the guy to contact whoever he had to contact, right?
You're potentially kind of just stuck right there.
I was stuck, and I knew it. I was hoping that the worst, right, wasn't going to happen, but it did. You know what I mean? And as I was waiting, we finally get what we're doing, and we're leaving the store, and I was approached by one dude, an individual, right? And he tried to put his hand around me like, hey, I need to holler at you. I need to talk to you. And I kind of brushed him off, like, dude, I'm with my family. You know what I mean? Like, not right now. I'll get at you later. And he didn't take that lightly. So I go to my car. I'm trying to hurry up, get my kids in. And I asked my wife, I told her, hey, turn around and see her, those guys, what are they doing? I seen it in her face that it was worried. And she's like, oh, my God, they're looking over here, and they're waiting. So butterflies, nervous. I have my kids, and I'm just hoping, nothing happens, right? And so I get in the car and I take off, and I said, I gotta go. Try to exit the shopping center, and I got trapped, right? It kind of T-boned me a little bit, right? And it was right.
One car, two cars?
It was two cars, but the car in front of me, I had no idea that they were part of it, right? So I'm honking, like, come on, let's go,
get out the way.
right? Get out. Like, I gotta go. And they put their brakes on. So when they kind of blocked me in, I had nowhere to go. So I tried to ram the car a little bit up in front. I was like, this is bad. And they were in a Silverado truck, right? And it had the suicide doors where the back door pops open, right? The front door opens and the back one opens.
Right.
So now they're exposed, right? And a gunshot went off. And when that happened, it felt like slow motion, like a dream. Like, this is not happening, And
mind you, you're with your family and everything.
I'm with my family, right? And it happened so fast. All I can hear is screaming. I hear gunshots. And I'm thinking, try to get out, right? I froze up, honestly. I didn't know what to do. And I knew I was hit from the first gunshot, right? From when they shot with the shotgun, because it ripped right through the car, man.
So it was a shotgun?
It was a shotgun that hit me first, right? And it blew off the front tire, blew off the window. Now, the bullets were modified. So there were strap metals, like from a mechanic shop, right? When they do the metal and it falls, when they're like, cutting through something. So they put that in the bullet. So when they shot, it went right through the car. Like a bunch of blades coming. This is where all of this happened at,
yeah,
right?
I can see it all in your arms, all the shrapnel that hits you.
Right. I put my arm up towards my face, like to block it, not to hit the face, so my whole arm got almost taken out, as you can see. Next thing I know, these guys are dancing around the car shooting, but they're trying to just hit me, right? They're trying to hit their target. I don't know how many shots were shot, but there were 3 people shooting, right? I got hit 4 times. My wife got hit 1 time, right? So when all this is happening, I'm already, in a daze. Everything's going slow, and I knew something was wrong. I knew something was bad. And all I could think of is, this is it, man. This is it. I'm gonna die right now, And when it happens, I don't know how to explain this, but there's no time to think about anything. It's what you see. It's what you see for the last time, and you know that you're not. This is it. And I got to see my wife. I got to see my kids. It wasn't a good way of going out, but as I'm slung over, some other individual ran up, right, and put the gun in my head and he shot. So it went in through my left side, came out my right side, and that's the bullet that lodged into my wife's arm, right. So she got hit with the same one from my head, but since it was so close, at close range, right, it's like when you have a staple gun and you put it up towards plywood and you shoot it, it goes right through it. It's flush. So it seals it. It didn't explode. It didn't blow up or anything, which was a good thing. This is why I'm still here. Right after that shot, I fell out. I don't know what happened. I woke up. I think it was like 6 weeks later out of a coma, right? I was in a coma for 6 weeks. I got surgery. They took my spleen out. My lung, collapsed. So I got like a fake lung, right? And I don't remember nothing what happened or anybody. I was like born again. I didn't know who my mom was. I didn't know who my wife was. I didn't even know who I was, right? When I woke up, I was confused, right? I felt like I was in another dimension. It was weird. Slowly but surely, I started recovering, and I had to learn everything again, And the first thing that made my memory come back was my daughter, right? They were not allowed into the hospital at the time, but they snuck them in. And because they snuck them in, this is a miracle that happened. When I seen her, I was like, I know her. I've seen you before. And she was like, Dad, oh my God, are you okay? You know what I mean? And that's when I started realizing, like, who is this little girl? Like, she looks so familiar. The doctor seen her and they told she couldn't be here, right? So I'm looking, and I remember this. I started thinking to myself, that's my daughter, you know? And I turned around, my mom's right there, and I was like, that's my daughter, I know her, you know? And it was a good moment. I'll never forget that. A couple of weeks later, man, my memory started coming back. You know, I knew I had a dad, right? I knew I had my brothers. I asked for one of my brothers. So things started coming back slowly. I couldn't eat. I had to drink out with straw, and I had a halo on. As you can see, you know, I had a halo on for quite some time. You know, I was in a wheelchair for a good moment.
Yeah, I can see that from the pictures right here, man. You had to wear this for how long?
I had to wear that for 1 year. I had to wear this for 1 year, man, and I went everywhere with it. You know, I did therapy. I went through the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. And at the end of this, so I got hit in the head, right, and it broke my C2. Right? You have a C2, your vertical brace in the back of your head, right? That goes from your neck to your top of your head all the way down your spine, right? So it was called a C2. It was a C2 fracture. Well, they took a piece of my rib while they were doing surgery, right? Because I got open up surgery, as you can see right here. You know, I got the whole T cut right here. Well, not the T cut, but
cut you right down the middle of your stomach.
Right. So they took a piece of the rib and they placed it and went where the fracture was at. Hopefully, it would heal. And the doctors in UCLA gave me a bone stimulator, right? And I had to work for 6 months. What that did was it made shock waves and give me back my feelings, and it also helped the healing.
Was there a fear like that you may never?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So that you wouldn't be able to remember nothing again? Was that fear too that we're saying?
That was the biggest fear I had, right? The doctors and them said that it's possibly that if this doesn't work, that I wouldn't be able to walk or do anything again, right? If it didn't work, I'll be paralyzed. I'll be like the guy Superman, the one who died, who fell off his horse, right? They told me you're gonna have to be drinking out with straw. The whole 9 yards, man. It was something. It was hard to take in. You know, this is where my belief came in. But I'm gonna tell you where I started. I turned my life around. So this is the day right here where they took the halo off. As you can see,
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Right on my forehead, right? And they took it off. And the minute they did this, they said, when we take off the halo, if your head falls, then that's it, man. You're gonna be paralyzed, right? But at the time, I could feel my fingers. I could move. When they took it off, man, my head stood still. They give you 2 minutes, and then they tell you turn slowly. And I did it, man. I did it, and here I am today.
So they take the halo off, and you know they're telling you that basically, if your head doesn't fall forward, then you'll be able to walk again. If not, that's it. You'll be paralyzed. I mean, what are the thoughts going through your head when they take it off?
So before they did it, you know, before this happened, right? As the doctor's telling me this, I'm already I'm tunnel vision a little bit. You know, I actually didn't even hear the rest of what he was saying to me. The simple fact was what scared me was it's possible I would never walk again. So the first thing I did was I looked at my mom, you know, and I see my mom just, you know, tears falling from her eyes. Like, yeah, this is possible. My son's going to be, you know, just like this right here, forever. Right. And I looked at her with some fear in my eyes, you know, and she knew it right there and then. We both knew it. Like, we better pray, you know what I mean? This is it right here. If God wants this, this is what's going to happen. I started thinking of my kids for a quick moment, right? Because I told them, give me a second. I said, just give me a second. I got to take this in right now. Right. They go, you let us know when we're ready. Because they had to drill out the screws. I have screws lodged into my forehead.
Well, I could see it right from the picture.
So it's a halo, and they have screws lodged in your chest, right, to keep me straight up. And they numbed me up, right? They had to give me some shots. and all I could think about was, playing baseball with my son again, being normal, like how it was going to impact my kids. How they were going to have to tell their friends, oh, my dad's crippled because of something bad, right? And I told them I was ready. Whatever happens, happens. And I remember the first drill, the nail coming out, and then the other one, then the whole thing came off, and they put a brace on me. They put the brace on first, and then when the halo came off completely, they said, we're going to take the neck brace off. So when they took the neck brace off, man, it was, I asked them, am I all right? Am I good? Like, is it going to fall?
Right.
And I seen the doctor, his expression on his face, and I seen him turn to a nurse. I can remember this real vividly. He turned to the nurse, and he put his head on her shoulder, and he was like, oh, my God, this worked. And I kept asking him, doctor, am I cool? Am I good? And he goes, you're okay, young man. You did it. We did it, man. You know what I mean? And I just remember breaking down and crying. I couldn't hold it in. I didn't care who was around me. You know what I mean? I started crying. This was another chapter in my life that I knew that I overcame something that was so tragic, right? And most people don't survive this, and I knew from there on it was going to be a new life for me. I knew things would never be the same. I'm not going to be like everybody else. I'm not going to be 100% normal. They told me that. I have to get shots, every 3 years for my spleen because I don't got a spleen, right? So those are some of the things I go through. My weight fluctuates because I got, from the stomach, it erupted. So I've been through a couple of surgeries after this all happened. But up to now, I still have a little pain, but I feel better now. And I think that, because as time's going on, it's just getting further and further away from the day it happened. Right. But it will never leave me, Now I think about my actions, what I do will affect me later if I don't make the right choices, right? And some of the choices that I made caused this, and it could have been prevented, right? And I'm not going to say I didn't know, because I did know what I was getting myself into. But what I didn't know was that my kids and my family, everybody around me, even you, was going to have an impact in our lives,
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Watching this and seeing this and hearing me out, and I'm just looking at this picture, I was dead, I was gone, they told my mom, we're going to pull the plug if he doesn't come out of it, right? So 2 days before I woke up out the coma, they already had a date set to pull the plug, right? If I didn't come out of it, because I was too long in the coma. They said I should have been brain dead, by the way, right? But I woke up, man.
Right. Looking at these pictures in front of me, it looks like you're pretty much, practically dead right there. They got you on life support. You're breathing out of tubes. You got this brace on your chest, halo on your head, bolted into your forehead and your chest. Life support, like you said. And when I look at you, I remember you're sharing a little bit about this a few years ago, and I remember, I passed you up probably many times, but I never knew that you had been through this, and there's so many different stories in prison and things that people have been through, but, I remember thinking, you're a walking miracle, right? To be alive, be functioning, to be almost dead, but to, have went from that to what you're doing now, and I see you doing art around here. I see you just came from group right now, the changes that you're making. What would you say, obviously you still ended up coming to prison after this. Maybe you're still making bad choices in some ways, but, when was that moment that, you decided that it's time to wake up and make the full change completely and just start, living a better life?
Well, so the change for me came when, right after the halo came off, I said, that was it, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not doing this no more. You know, it woke me up. It scared me to the core, right? I almost lost my life.
Right.
Even at times that now I still can't believe this is me. That was me there.
Right.
You know, it's been so long, but I don't underestimate anybody no more, right? I take threats real seriously, right? Like I said in the beginning, I shined it on when they gave me a warning, you know, and I never thought this would happen to me, but it can happen to anybody, right? And when it does, they don't care. And what I mean by they, it's people who want to hurt somebody. If they want to get you, they're going to get you, no matter, even if your kids are in the car, right? So it opened my eyes. Now my kids and lives are in danger. We're all in danger, right? Because there's bad people in this world. You know, I thought I was bad, but there's worse people out there who are willing to take anybody out. So I made a big change, you know. My dressing, I stopped dressing. You know, I let my hair grow. You know, I got a lot of tattoos, but who doesn't have tattoos now these days, right? I just want to blend right in. It's a testimony I carry with me, right? And it was my ways and my choices that I had to change. It was a whole new way of life. You really got to do it. You know, you think about it, and you got to ask yourself, is it worth it? You know, what are you going to get out of it? You know, what are you investing your life into something that is going to hurt everybody at the end? You know, I seen my mom cry too much, right? She's been through a lot. I wanted to make her smile now. No more crying. So I did what I had to do. I got better. I started working. You know, I joined the labor's union. And I became something in my field, and I'm very proud of myself today, you know. I have a good career. I got good people around me now, you know. I'm smart enough to walk away when I see the trouble coming or escalating, right? I know how to not take it where it doesn't need to be, right? I'm learning everything I can. But it was the moment the halo came off is when I said I got to make that change for everybody in myself.
Okay, and what would you say to, you know, maybe...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You know, what would you say to these kids out there, you know, that they want to be joining gangs or they think gangs are cool? Like, what advice would you give them, you know, or, you know, what would you say to them?
I would tell them straight up, there's nothing you're going to get out of this. There's nothing good, okay? There's going to be a lot of people hurt. You're going to get hurt, right? Emotionally, physically, you know. It's not a career to be in. It's not, you know. If you don't take it from me and you want to try it, you know, then you're going to learn the hard way like I did. Don't be stubborn, you know. It's okay to walk away and who cares what people think about you? You don't have to be something you're not, you know, because me personally, I was empty inside, you know. I wanted the attention, right? I wanted to be cool. I've seen others how they got the women, you know, the money, and illegally though, right? But I thought that was cool, and it all started with the music, right? Music was a big impact about how I portrayed my life. I wanted to be just like that. So I would tell the kids today, you know, be something good in life. You know, do it the right way. Hard work does pay off. You know, don't be a pawn, man. You know, don't be a follower. Be a leader. Lead yourself. You can do whatever you want in this lifetime. You only got one life, right? And I don't know where we're going. I don't. You know, I've been saved by God, and I'm aware there's a heaven, right? But before we get there, this is it right here. You know, the time you have on this planet, don't waste it. Because I wasted a lot of years, and I could have did something different. I could have spent time with my kids, right? And I think about it every day. You know, I have plans. You know, I have dreams. We all have dreams, you know. can go after them. You can do it. You know, you just got to do the footwork. You know, God would open the doors. This is what I'll tell you. God will open the doors if you ask Him, but you got to do the physical work and walk through the door. Just because He opened them doesn't mean something's going to happen. You literally got to do the work, just like now. So God opened the door for me and you, just for you to have this podcast, right? You're doing the footwork now. Now you're doing these interviews with these individuals who have testimonies, real testimonies, right, of what they've been through and the changes. All right? So there's something that's going to come out of this. People are going to hear this, right? So these are the doors that I tell people that He opened for us, right? I was a lifer, man. I was a lifer on this case, right? Went back to court 2019 and got my gun enhancement job, one of them. And I got 17 years out of that. And I've been down for almost 8 years now. Actually, 8 years a couple of days ago. And I got 4 more years left, you know. Became a level 1 recently, right? And now I work, you know, in the warden's office, man. So yesterday I was walking in the parking lot, right? And I took a moment to look around and I looked at the cars and I see people just living life normally. And I told myself, this is what I want. I haven't wanted something so bad, Eric, in my life till yesterday. You know, I had to go to the restroom, man, and I broke down. And I said, I can't believe this, man. I was never going to touch this or be out here or be mingling with these type of people. I didn't think I was ever going to make it outside the gate. But every day, Monday through Friday, I jump in a car and I leave the prison. The same way I came into this prison on a bus, I get to go out every day. So I got 1 foot out right now. And it's making me realize, you know, hey, you're going to come home and you can have all this. But when I come back in, I hate it, man. You know, I don't like to use the word hate, but I hate this place. You know, I hate the fact that I put myself here, right? It's not the people.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
It's me, right? I hate the fact that I make stupid choices and I know the consequences. That's what I don't like, right? I ask myself all the time, why did I do that? You know, I kick myself in the butt. Like, oh, why did you do that for her? You knew what was going to happen, you know? So I'm true to myself these days now. You know, I don't minimize nothing. You know, don't sugarcoat anything. It is what it is, right? And I just own up to it. So I make better choices today. You know, I do. I make better choices. I help people out. I empathize, sympathize. You know, my integrity is off the chart. You know, I know somebody's watching, but I'm not doing it for a reward. I'm doing it from the heart because I like to see people.
Yeah, man. You know, I just want to thank you, Terry. You know, for coming on and, you know, just sharing your story, you know, with the world out there. And you're right. You know, your story will change, you know, touch people's lives, you know, because everything that you've been through, you know, you're a walking miracle, bro, you know, and you're able to talk about it and express and try to warn people, because sometimes when we, you know, we make choices when we're young to be a part of the gang life. Like, sure, we feel like it's cool and, you know, we want to be accepted and things like that. But you don't really know the full consequences when you're like 9, 10 years old and you're just trying to fit in with the homies. And the next thing you know, it gets real. You know, shots are being fired. You're attending funerals. You're doing car washes, you know, things like that. And you kind of feel trapped a little bit in that lifestyle. But nevertheless, you know, like you said, you know, going through what you went through and being shot, being almost killed, you know, your wife being injured at the same time, like, you know, what that must have felt like going through that, you know. But I just want to thank you for coming on, man, and, you know, I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate it. I really do. You know, to take this time out and share the stories. You know, I heard a lot of stories throughout my life, and I try to imagine and understand what they're telling me, right? And get a visual.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And I'm glad that I have these right here to show, because it gets real once you see it. You have to see it to believe it. I'm a firm believer, right? So, like I said, you know, I appreciate it as well. The story's out. You know, it's going to change somebody's life. I guarantee that, you know. It changed me forever, I tell you that. You know,
Right.
Yes, I am a miracle, walking miracle. Halo. You know what I'm saying? I had a halo on, man. So it started right there. I knew I was protected.
Right.
My mom used to say that. My mom goes, don't worry, Mijo, you got a halo on. You're protected now, you know. This is her right here, you know, and these are some good times. And I got to give thanks to her, you know, and God. You know, God put her in my life, and she followed through with me. She was there with me every day of my life, you know, never left my side. And she kept telling me things would get better, you know, and I believed her. Man, I can't change nothing, but it is a story, you know, that sticks with me forever. And I'm just happy to be here today. I really am. Really happy to be here today, man.
Yeah, thank you again, Terry, you know, for sharing it. You know, for those out there listening, you know, you can hear the full story on YouTube. You know, continue to check out the pictures and everything that we're putting up with the story on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and just continue to come and tune into the stories that we're sharing with everybody out there. You know, and Terry's another important piece of the puzzle, sharing these stories and, you know, getting to know some of the things that people have went through on the inside. So with that being said, I'm your host, Terry, signing off from Corcoran with prayers, love, and a little bit of change talk.
That's right.